Before I found Chainsaw Warrior in my Steam library, I had no idea this existed. Originally, Chainsaw Warrior was a board game designed by Stephen Hand and published by Games Workshop in 1987. Auroch Digital would come along 26 years later in 2013 to develop a game that would be faithful to the original. Having never played the original, I don't know if that's true, but we can find out if the digital version is any good. The concept is interesting enough. You are a Chainsaw Warrior, or maybe the Chainsaw Warrior, and you're tasked with saving New York in 60 minutes from the darkness. You do this by fighting your way through what looks like an apartment building, teeming with fright-inducing creatures, until finally you meet the darkness and shoot it with your laser lamps, saving New York and possibly the world from impending doom. Doesn't that sound great? Doesn't that sound like a fantastic concept for a game? Unfortunately, in practice, even for a digital board game, it's just not fun. After rolling dice to determine your character's stats and equipment, you descend into the pits of hell, a New York-based apartment. Every turn is 30 seconds, which eats away at your 60-minute total. As you work your way through the building, you run into the major problem of the game. And no, it's not the zombies. It's the fact that it's not really a game, but instead is a horror-themed dice roll simulator. This zombie has 7 attack and it rolled 7. We add those numbers together, subtract it against my attack, and we have the lowest possible number I can roll to successfully hit. I click the roll button, roll a 7, which in case you did not know is more than 6, and slay the zombie. Do this enough times while navigating traps and rest zones, and next thing you know, you have finished the first deck of cards. Your reward for that is being forced to go through the second deck of cards. You thought it was over? No, it's just getting started. By the time you reach the second deck, you will be running low on time and will most likely be fighting in the dark, which penalizes you if you don't have the correct items. Tension is high now because any card can be the darkness, and you better be prepared. If your laser lance has no ammunition, you might as well restart because you can't damage him and death is inevitable. While killing him with a laser lance is the only way to achieve victory, it's not the best ending to the game. Now, what if I told you there was a way to go out in a blaze of glory and make the game a draw? If you find the implosion vest, you can take the darkness with you. The ultimate sore loser maneuver. Oh, my character's decided to self-inflict damage? Okay, I got you. While the implosion vest ending is genuinely great, the game unfortunately is not. The gameplay is mind-numbingly boring, and the game's low budget does not help. You have a background song that loops, some sound effects for the weapons and enemies, and some visual effects for attacks. Win, lose, or draw, you get a picture with a couple of sentences underneath it, and are taken back to the main menu. With very little audio and visual stimulation combined with poor gameplay, I'm surprised this game received a sequel. That's right, Chainsaw Warrior Lords of the Night came out 2 years later in 2015. Even before doing research for this video, I knew this because the main menu shills this game. It's right in your face. Buy Lords of the Night now. But guess what? The publishing rights expired on May 31st, 2021. So not only does the game present you that ad every time you open it, clicking the Buy Now button takes you to Steam's front page since both games have been delisted. The endless list of games removed from storefronts due to expired publishing rights could be a video in of itself. After doing research into how this game arrived into my Steam library, turns out it came from a 2018 Humble Bundle. If you also somehow have this game in your library and are having issues running it, I attached a Steam forum post in the description which should help. I was running into a black screen issue that I couldn't resolve until following these steps. But was it worth it? Ultimately, the game most likely serves an extremely niche audience of people that not only knows of Chainsaw Warrior, but also wants to play a digital version. And while I didn't find the game fun, I still find it interesting to play games like this that are no longer legally accessible due to publishing rights. Also, it's not all bad. The card art which comes from the board game does look fantastic and has a charm that's hard to find nowadays. Auroch Digital would eventually go on to make Warhammer 40,000 Boltgun, which received fairly good praise. If you find a copy of the game which also released on iOS and Android, I would say give it a try, simply because as time goes on, games like this are delisted and will be harder and harder to find, so why not try it for yourself? If you liked the video, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you aren't, it helps the channel grow. My name's Yuo, and I'll see you in the next one.